Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Car Wash Magazine Live. I am your host, Matt DeWolf, Editor-in-Chief of Car Wash Magazine. Hey, so you all just saw one of my favorite things, which is light shows, because who doesn't love a good light show? And you also saw another one of my favorite things if you were tuning into the program during some of the pre-run here. You saw all of our Champions Council partners, and so a special thank you to all those folks who are supporting our efforts by being Champions Council partners. If you want more information about that, you can contact Carrie North at cnorth@carwash.org. Okay, so here we go, friends. This is going to be a good show because guess what? We are going to be speaking with Mark DeGraff from BOB AUTOWAS in the Netherlands. Now, we say the Netherlands, but really it's the Netherlands, it's Curacao, and Panama. But we'll get to that in just a moment. First things first, guys, thanks for tuning in. We are coming up on our 1 year of doing this program, and so we've got some special stuff planned coming up. Next week, we've got a fun episode with our marketing panel to talk about customer journey maps, and if you don't know what those are, you better tune in and tell your friends. Why not? One of the things that Mark DeGraff is going to talk to us about a little bit later is people. I love talking about people. And so in that vein, one of my favorite things that we need to keep in mind with our people is training. And so ICA's new car wash training for car wash managers, LEAD, does that. Again, I can tell you about this, but I would rather you hear straight from the source.
I'm Mike Black with Valet Car Washes in Ontario, Canada. We operate 9 locations up here. From express to flex, self-serve, detailing, some loop shops, and some gas stations. What I found attractive about LEAD was, as a company grows and you have multiple operations with a lot of employees, training is a great aspect that you have to get a handle on. And we had been trying to develop our own online training system for some time, but it just kept getting pushed to the back burner. So when I was made aware of LEAD, the LEAD program, I jumped right on and I said, this is a great platform that we can use to have consistency among our network. This program is car wash specific. I think that's really important. I mean, you can take online courses, all kinds of online courses, but what I like about this is it's very specific. It puts our employees right in the business of what they're doing, and that's car washing.
All right, there you have it, friends. Go check it out if you want some more information. You know where to go, carwash.org/lead. We say it a lot. Okay, so this week in Car Wash, if you guys notice, down below, we've got some scrolling headlines of what's going on in the car wash industry. That's fed straight from carwashmagazine.com. And so if you want to get your news in there, you got to send it to me. So mdewolf@carwash.org, that's where you send your news. A couple of really fun things going on this week. We've got Delta Sonic. They just launched and you can see it. Let's show it up here. You can see up in the corner here, over here, I guess, an image of their new exhibit at a children's museum in town, showcasing how the car washes work, what the interior kind of workings of a car wash are like. So that's super fun for the kids. You may also remember we had Nick Lopez on the show a couple of weeks ago talking about what they do with their local Doozium down in San Antonio. So lots of opportunities here with helping folks understand how car washes work and making that fun for children. So that's awesome. Good job, guys. More than washing cars. And then we've got Tommy's doing something pretty interesting. They're sponsoring NASCAR driver Bill Lester. So super excited to be able to see a Tommy's logo on a NASCAR F-150 here pretty soon. That should be coming up shortly. And then we've got a special congratulations to a new location up here for third generation car washers, Andy's Wash, Adam Anderson out in Lexington, South Carolina, I do believe is where this one is located. Congratulations, guys, for opening that location. Looking forward to 4th and 5th and 6th and 7th generation car washers coming out of that area. Now, the other thing I want to talk about this week, as always, we've got a fresh package of ear candy for you over at Car Wash the Podcast. You can get that at carwashthepodcast.com, wherever you're subscribing to your podcast. But we've got Josh Feedy on that episode sharing his conversation around buyer enablement, seller enablement, and just how to just flat out sell more stuff, guys. So really good episode. Make sure you check that out. Arms your team for success. So, okay, in case you guys missed it, because I still don't know what you might be doing on any given week at 11:30 Central Time, other than sitting here and enjoying this program with us. But I get it. Sometimes you got other things to do. Last week, you might have missed Carl Howard from AutoBell talking about why he may not do LPR or RFID. That's a tongue twister. But he's going to do something else. Check it out. But like this, you got to check it out.
We have been working with a partner to customize an app, an AutoBell app, and it's literally been about a 18-month, 2-year process to get it where we want it to be. But essentially, our step one was to move all of our unlimited customers from the point of sale based unlimited car wash program to an app based unlimited program. So essentially, each customer can manage their own account on their own device, be it Droid or iPhone, through our app. It's one car per phone. However, we're going to roll out very soon a family plan where as long as you have a number of vehicles, you can have the same number of phones connected to that account, so that you could then wife or husband or daughter or son or whoever could bring the car in as long as they had that number of accounts. We have a description of the car on the app. When it pulls up, it automatically generates a code that we can then scan touchlessly, I should say, for the customer. And it's easy for our customers to identify the vehicle. No RFID or LPR required. It's very easy to manage and operate. And actually what we found is our shrinkage rate, or the customers that are trying to use multiple cars on one account, I should say, has gone down substantially. Because and I didn't know this, I didn't really think about this as a side benefit, but people don't share their phones. They don't give up their phones or Droids very reluctantly will they do that. So it's been a real positive for our program and our frequency rates in that program.
All right, there you go. That is Carl Howard from AutoBell talking about what they're doing with their mobile payment solution instead of, at least for now, RFID or LPR. So always options out there, always ways to innovate. Carl Howard's episode was super rich with things that you can do in your business and ways to make yourself better. And so make sure you go check that out, carwashmagazine.com, or anywhere you're consuming that kind of content. Now, friends, it's time for...
Liviana, what's your joke?
Why did the lion eat the tightrope walker?
Why?
Because he wanted a balanced meal.
Nice. Maya, what's your joke?
Why did the girl eat her homework?
Why?
Because her teacher said it was a piece of cake.
Hashtag.
More than washing cars.
All right. There you have it, friends. More than washing cars, indeed. Thank you to Justin Salisbury for sending in that video of his kids telling us a couple of jokes. You got a twofer on this show, so that's pretty exciting. Remember, you're stuck with our jokes until... Well, wait, how does that work? You sent me your jokes. That's amazing. Hey, send me your jokes at him2wolf@carwash.org. I could tell them. My kids can tell them. Maybe Justin Salisbury's kids can tell them. Or send your own kids in telling jokes, because while we got jokes, kids got jokes too. So, look, I could stall this out for you, but I'm not going to, because this is kind of the meat of the program. This is going to be an amazing wash, guys. You will not want to miss this tour. Tell your friends. You have about 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now joining me on the program is the man himself, Mark DeGraff. Mark, welcome.
Thank you, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Hey, I'm doing a lot better now that we just got to see such an amazing video of your latest wash. That's amazing, Mark. Like, I mean, I'm going to try to have words to talk about it, but it's going to be kind of hard.
Okay, yeah, I can imagine, but I'm very proud with this location because it's a really beautiful location. I think myself, of course. And especially, I like it so much because it's one of the first ground ups we doing. So done. So that is really special for me.
Yeah, that's super exciting. A lot of going into existing buildings for you guys. But before we get too far down that path, let's back up real quick. And if you could just kind of give everybody a little bit of a overview in terms of how you got into the industry, and maybe talk about Bob a little bit.
Yeah, I can. Officially, I started in the industry, I think, as a part-time employee in a car wash, and it was in the 80s. And that's sort of beautiful. So I've worked there for Saturdays and just a part-time, just prepping, like we used to do at that time. And I think it's nice to have a history like this. I studied chemical engineering, finished my study, also never worked in this field, just started it in the car wash business. By coincidence, I was approached by the previous owner of the car wash, and he said, maybe it's nice to start something in the car wash business. And he had a need of a management system. At these times, we had just the counters of the car wash, and they were not just. They took the counters and they counted their cash, but there was not a system behind it. So at that time, yeah, people starting to using the PCs were for accounting and that kind of stuff. So they asked me, can you program a program so we can manage our car washes? And they used to have 3 car washes from a distance, and also for a cash register.
So you started managing all that. You started helping them get more technological in terms of how they're managing their businesses way back when.
Yeah,
nice.
And that's the beauty of it. And I think that was what the beauty was that I started programming. I didn't have any experience at all in programming. Just started it and found it out. So as I remember, I studied chemical engineering. Nothing to do with computers. So just started. And from this it went on. I started programming, sold, and there was a need in the market for this kind of software. And after, I think, 2-3 years, I figured out it would be a nice thing to have my own car wash, so I can really experience how it is to have our car wash and do the right things. And it was in 95, I think.
Okay.
So that's the start of my first car wash. Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't know that backstory, which I really appreciate that, from chemical engineering to computer programming to owning and operating some really amazing car washes. I mean, it seems like a natural path. It seems like it makes sense. let's get into a little bit. Let's talk about and so 95 you started that first one. Where are you today with Bob?
At the total, we have now 21 locations.
Okay.
18 in the Netherlands. I have 2 in Curaçao in the Caribbean.
Okay.
And 1 in Panama.
Nice. Well, okay, we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about those choices too. But let's start a little bit with this beautiful wash that everybody got to see. The first one that you guys got to do kind of ground up build, and that shows up in a lot of glass, a lot of really beautiful choices. Can you talk about just kind of some of the things you did in that location that you feel like you're really proud of?
I think the beauty of this location is that because we keep it as open as possible, and maybe as you might know, we have a lot of indoor vacuum places, very different from the US. I know. I think Delta Sonic started now with interior, and also Hachi, Tirana has some locations now. So that's the beauty, and I think it's the beauty of this site is that from every corner of the location you can see every action. So it is as open as possible. And for this, we don't have a technical room hidden, but it is underground. So it's in the basement.
See, and I think that's a bold move because I've seen some equipment rooms that are not in good shape, or some back rooms that look a little bit more like my garage than we got to see in that video. But you're saying, hey, it's clean. Check it out. Look at how it all works.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, and I think what's also kind of neat is that with all that glass and all that visibility and openness, the customer really gets to kind of get a better sense of what's going on in that experience of washing their car. And I think that just kind of like from the road, especially, shows activity, shows what that business is, and will draw people in ways that just putting a sign up on the building doesn't quite do. So I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Can you talk too about the at this new location? You guys started doing something pretty interesting. You're doing the interior cleanings and you have the belt, but you're also doing something a little bit different. You're waxing on a belt. Can you share with folks what you're doing there?
Sure, I do. This is something and I must also tell you that the ID I have from Richard Enning, Mr. Wash, they're using also in all her locations they have hand wax stations. And I think 2 years ago I went to one of his locations in Hamburg, where he has 2 interior belts, and he started on one of the belts. He started to hand wax there. And I think it was an amazing show there because it sells by itself. Mm-hmm. So if the customer stands there and watching their cars in the interior belt, they have on the other belt hand waxing going on, and the feeling that gave me, I said I have to work something out here, and this is what we did. So I actually, and I give him all the credits, stole it from Richard. But we did it different, and maybe we improved it a bit, or we improved the show, maybe. What we did is we have it also on the belt, but it's not in the normal direction.
Okay.
So we park the cars, how do you call it?
Sideways, yeah.
And so you see the car moving from the start to the end, from sideways, and that's really beautiful to see this. So,
all right, so that sounds really cool, but how do you get the cars off? Like, do you do you have to stop the belt, or you just take off at the end?
It's moving very slow. So
okay.
It's no problem. and we come in from this side, and you come out on this side, on the other side.
Oh, okay. So okay. It's just like a straight through.
Reverse. No, yeah, no, that's reverse.
Okay, that's whew, okay. I have this vision in my head of just people just hammering on the gas, but it's good. That's good. I love that. I love the idea of seeing the cars coming through sideways because it's like a production facility, right? Like you're seeing it come off the lot. So like to me, if I'm watching that, it makes me feel like my car's brand new. And like what better feeling can you give to your customer than a brand new car?
That was like the whole idea. Just make it a show, and also from this is really a process. This is what I believe. I think especially for the customer, you also know how long it takes to wax your car. You know, this is the value that you get, and it is this amount of time you get there.
I love that. I wonder how long it will take before someone in the U.S. Now steals what you've done, what you stole from Richard. So we'll see how long it takes here.
Yeah. They do. I know a lot of people in the U.S., so they will.
It's only a matter of time. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. A couple other things I wanted to talk about just about this specific location. That LED entrance is amazing. Like, can you just share what that is and why you guys decided to use that?
It's just a simple LED screen, but huge. And I actually picked this up in one of the ICA shows in Vegas. You have a lot of screens there, but especially in this hall, there was this vault with the LED screens there, and they were projecting, or there was a film or a movie of a photo waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, this is really a spectacle thing to do something, and I think a lot of the car washes have just this entrance arch, and it looks nice, but I think we really wanted to impress the customers, and especially something they remember or they tell to their friends and neighbors and the people they know. And this is what we've done. And the way we made it, it's not a square screen, but it's curved. So it feels, if you move into the car wash, that you really experience and you move into this thing.
Well, it's like the curved TV screens. But I think what's coolest about it is that you went pretty snug on the fit, right, for the vehicles. So like you can't really see past what's going on there. So you're all in on that experience. Probably a difference between U.S. and Europe. You're able to keep that pretty tight. I feel like in the U.S. we might have some issues with bigger vehicles. Any challenges for you?
Very similar.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, so you just have to make it just big enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Hey, the last thing I want to talk about this particular location, I think you guys do this at a few of your locations, but coming out of COVID, a lot of sanitization services and that kind of thing have kind of sprung up. You all are doing some UV cleaning. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. This is one of the ideas I had before, and it's really hard to get the viruses to get disinfected in the car. The only thing you can use is alcohol, and alcohol is not so nice for the interior of your car. So I found out something that, especially in planes, and also in hospitals, they clean or disinfect chairs in planes, and they're using UV light. And it really kills all the bacteria and viruses. And we try to copy that and try to work in it. But it is really hard to explain the customer what we are doing. They don't understand what we are doing because people are not used to do this and not familiar.
Not familiar with it. Yeah. Well, and so like, I mean, because I guess you don't see anything, right? Like it's light, like there's nothing for the customer to see. Whereas like, you know, some of the fogging or like surface application, you see that, you understand what's going there. But if, you know, somebody's just holding the light, that doesn't seem like it's doing anything.
Yeah. And the only thing you can smell it.
Ah, okay.
After the treatment, you can smell, I think it's ozone.
Okay. Interesting.
You smell that because that is what's happening there.
Huh. Yeah. That's really interesting. Really interesting. Okay. So the other thing I want to say about that, I love that you looked outside the car wash industry to get that idea, because that's where all the good ideas come from for our business. If we can look and apply what's going on around us and in our environments to our business, that's how we all get better. So this was the first new build. Which would you rather do now? You've done new builds and you've done your existing buildings. Which route would you rather take?
I think it's much easier to do a ground up, because you can design everything you like. But especially I think in the Netherlands, but more in Europe also, it's really hard to find just land. It's not like in the US. I think most car washes are built on land that's available, and our cities are so dense, I think, that it's really hard to find land. And if you are able to find land like this that's on a good location, it's even harder. So you find just in industrial area, you can find something like this, but there's no traffic there.
Yeah, that sort of defeats the purpose, right?
Yeah.
No cars to wash. It doesn't make any sense to build a wash there.
Not at all. So I think, and I like the idea that we use old or existing building, but it's always harder to deal with how the buildings are when I found them.
Yeah, it's a little harder to put in that level of glass and design, and I mean, you still have to fight with, you know, making sure that you get the right permits and get approval for those kinds of things based on the municipality or the city or town or wherever you might be. But it's a little easier to build from scratch, I think, than it is to kind of go in and say, oh, well, let me deal with all of these problems of this structure first, and then I'm going to build something there.
Yeah, the other ground up we did before is in Curacao, and that's another beautiful. Maybe I think this is the most beautiful car wash in the world. But
you're not biased.
Yeah, there's no roof there. So.
There's no roof in the Curacao location?
Nope.
That's fantastic. That all right. We're gonna come back to that in just a minute here. I want to talk a little bit about. I want to move a little bit into like trends in the Netherlands and what's going on there, because obviously my knowledge base kind of fits around the U.S. What are you seeing right now from a car wash trend perspective in the Netherlands?
I think the last couple of years, I think it's what the really beautiful thing is in the world or in the Netherlands is, I think if you look to the car wash business, I think the US is number one car wash business, 2 is Germany, and I think Netherlands is the third country in the world where car washing is really professional And it makes it beautiful what you see here and the direction that we go. And I think if you go to car wash show Europe, I think it's for a reason it was in the Netherlands. And I think for the last couple of years, our car washes became bigger and bigger and bigger and longer and longer and longer. And what's really, really important in the Netherlands is to have a vacuum area most of the times with a roof or indoor. That's really a trend. And I think the trend at the moment is interior build, because our customers demand more full serve business, and they don't want to be on their phone when the car is cleaned and also cleaned from the inside. So you see it more and more and more, and I think this is an idea that but I think I don't think Mr. Wash was the first one with an interior belt, but they are big in Germany, and you see them more and more and more here in the Netherlands. And so this is the direction we go there. The other thing is becoming more and more and more important here in the Netherlands is speed. We were used to wash very slow washing, but don't people want to take the time anymore. There's a quick clean, and this is also what really is changing at the moment. This is also a trend you see in the US.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah, it's like it's not really a geographic trend so much as it is a human being trend, right? We just, as people, we just want to be faster, faster, faster all the time. The other thing that I think is really interesting, and probably means like is not that interesting to you because you live this way, but you guys are like, I don't know, 97% cashless. Like there's not a lot of cash going around. You guys are contactless payments all the time, phones. We're obviously the U.S. is stealing from you on that front, but like just talk kind of culturally about what you see from customers in that environment. Like what's the draw for not carrying cash?
I don't know. I think it's something that's really changed fast here in the Netherlands. I think if you look back 10 years ago, everything was cash, and especially with the COVID times now. I think during the first lockdown we had here in the Netherlands, we just accepted only phones to pay, and actually I don't have cards anymore, just my phone. And the biggest advantage for me as an entrepreneur is that I really 100% in control of the money what's coming in. Because it's a huge problem with cash.
Yeah. You never quite know where that cash is going. That's crazy. Well, hey, let's switch gears real quick. I want to talk briefly about the Curacao location because it doesn't have a roof apparently, and so talk a little bit about like what it's like to operate washes on an island, like in this kind of different environment. It's very different from what most washes live and breathe. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, sure. But I don't. Maybe I have to talk a little bit about how it came that I started the car wash there and why. And so, as you know, Curaçao is a part of the Dutch kingdom, so it's still a Dutch island, and '08 I lived there with my kids and my wife, just for a sabbatical. I still own my house there, so we go to 2 years, twice, 3 times per year. We come there, and yeah, the beauty is there. I had my car, of course, and the only thing they had there was hand wash locations.
Yep.
So. And the cars become really, really dirty there because of the dirt that's there. But if you wanted to wash your car, it took you at least an hour because it's warm. So they say, relax and have a drink. And, yeah. So I went there and I thought, that might be an idea to start a car wash there, and I think there's a need for customers also to have a quick wash. But it wasn't a hobby for me because I thought, this is nice to do and go there for vacation and stuff. So just started it there. But I must say it's really, really, really nice success there. It's a beautiful car wash there.
Yeah.
And because it rains, but the temperature is always it's good. It's really nice. So we decided to build a car wash there without a roof. That makes also the show much easier and stuff. So,
I love that. Mark, what I'm hearing you say is that you wanted to spend more time on Curacao doing fun things instead of waiting for your car to get cleaned, so you built a wash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, where there is opportunity, you might as well take it. That's awesome. That's awesome. And then you also have the wash in Panama. We won't get into that today. I know I'm eating up a lot of your time. I do want to ask a couple more questions. Can you just kind of tell us what your plans are for the future? What's it look like for you? I guess hopefully no more new builds.
I think for the moment we are looking for new locations in the Netherlands. My goal is only to stay in the Netherlands because it's much easier to manage and stuff. The fun part is Curaçao. We were for COVID, we also planning to have a car wash in Aruba. Aruba is next to Curaçao and is also part of the Dutch kingdom. But now with the situation in the world, we decided to wait a little bit. And I think this is more my fun part is the car wash in Panama is I have it with a partner from Panama. It's a Dutch guy.
Okay.
And I think this is just for fun.
Just for fun.
Yeah, that's really for fun. But it is interesting to see how you can develop a market because Panama City. We built the first car wash there.
Fascinating.
It's a city with I think at least 2 million people.
Yeah.
No car washes, but a lot of hand washes. And there's also a need for a quick wash. We figured out there. Yeah.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, like we said, humans want it faster, so. There will be a market there, and you're in it.
Yeah,
I love that. One last thing for you, Mark. Any advice that you would give to kind of any operator really, but maybe somebody who's just kind of maybe they're 1 or 2 locations and they're trying to get to that next level. Any advice you'd give?
Yeah, I think the reason. Where customers go to this location or this location is always the people that work there. So I think you can automate everything, But the most important thing in a car wash, also in a car wash, because we are in a business with people. People come to the car wash where the employees are smiling, are friendly, and people still looking for human interaction. So that's my advice. Be the nicest. Have to smile.
Well, and I'll take it one step further for you. I think the other advice I think that maybe will come through from people watching this today is don't forget about the show. And there is a show and an experiential element to what you're doing every day, and that can be really important. And just kind of
it is, and this is what we have done in our location with screens, of course.
Yeah.
But don't forget the people.
Don't forget the people. That's perfect. Perfect. Mark, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute blast, and I'm so glad we got to see some of your beautiful locations. And we'll have to get you back here when you blow up that Panama market in ways that nobody could imagine.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody watching at home, if you want to see more stories like this and you want to catch up on all things Car Wash Magazine Live related, you can do that at carwashmagazine.com, or you can go to YouTube, or you can just spend your day wasting away on Facebook scrolling through all of our videos. So until next time, my friends, you know what you got to do out there. Keep it clean.
I'm just having a